Hi, it's Jennifer Hollick with the World War II Research and Writing Center and Finding the Answers Journey. I'm sitting in a park in Rotterdam. It's kind of like their Central Park, and it's beautiful here. And I found this enormous tree with such fantastic energy, and it wanted to be part of my video. So here I am sitting and listening to the birds, the occasional plane fly overhead, and it's just gorgeous today. I wanted to talk a little bit about connecting to the other side, and something that has come up with a lot of people I've spoken to this year. I gave 4 talks at Roots Tech this year about World War II research, and I was very open about the experiences I've had with the other side, connecting to soldiers or other people in the family, or when I'm in Europe, connecting to the different energies that are here. I am very aware of a lot of these things, and my capacities to be in touch with these other energies has increased, changed, and a lot of other things have shown up in the last 3 years that I've started traveling over here. And I think a lot of people who do family history research and military history research experience some of these things, but a lot of people don't talk about it. There's almost like, we'll accept it if we call it genealogical serendipity, because that's okay. That's not weird. That's not like woo-woo crazy. But we don't go beyond that. And I see that in a lot of different communities. It isn't just family history and military research. But I want to let you know that if you are in touch with these different energies and you don't necessarily know where they're coming from or whatever, that's okay. And if you want to acknowledge that you have that capacity, great. And if you don't, that's okay too. But there are a lot of people out there who are willing to talk about these different experiences and help you learn how to deal with some of the intense emotions or physical responses that come up. Now, I've experienced more physical triggers. I guess most people would identify them as anxiety attacks or panic attacks, those kinds of symptoms, when I've been in Europe in specific places. And I know for most of those experiences, it was connected to a past life or many past lives where a lot of really bad things happened. And for me, I've been connected a lot in the past to wars or being a nurse who's helped soldiers. I have a long history of that. Or with the church, I have a long history of that also. And I think when I started having these experiences, I had a mentor who I could talk to and say, hey, this happened, I don't understand it, this is how I felt, I just, like, my soul wanted to crawl out of my body and I just wanted to die, or I felt really scared, or I couldn't breathe, or whatever that is. But I think a lot of people who start moving into this area, the more they explore their family history or their military history, don't know what to do with this stuff. So again, I just want to tell you that there are a lot of people out here who can help you through a lot of these things. And for the last 3 years also, I've been using a lot of tools from Access Consciousness, and I haven't bumped up to take a lot of their core classes yet. I'm getting ready to start doing that. But the tools that they have are just incredible, and getting my bars run all the time is incredible. It opens up so much space, and it really helps me to not take on all of these negative energies that show up in different places. And once you know how to deal with some of these things and you just allow other things to show up, your capacities connecting to the other side can change. As I said, mine have changed quite a bit in the last 3 years. And yesterday, actually, we were at the Museum Rotterdam, 1940, 1945, and we saw a lot of the artifacts about what was going on in Rotterdam during World War II, especially near the bombing in May of 1940. And they do have, and it's a very small museum, and in the middle of the museum they have this like long table where they have all these computer screens, and you can see all these pictures of people who lived in Rotterdam and click on them and kind of know their story, or a tiny bit of their story. And then they have a lot of postcards or propaganda pieces, and you can click on those and look at that. But also in that room they show this video, and it's kind of an experience. It's very loud, it kind of shakes the room, of what it was like to go through the Rotterdam bombing. And usually I can handle things like that. The 101st Airborne Museum in Bastogne has that basement experience. And I've sat through that, I don't know, more than 20 times, 25 times. And every time I go there, I sit through it at least 5, 6, 7 times, because you have a different experience based on who's in the room or who's not in the room, where you sit in the room, if you stand in the middle of the room, all of that. So this bombing of Rotterdam was not a new thing for me, but what came through really kind of rocked my world. A family member who survived the bombing of Rotterdam showed up, and this person has shown up several times in the last several years, but never at an intensity like this. And I'd never channeled anybody as intensely as this. And there was a lot of sadness, so much. I was crying as I'm watching this. It wasn't even an 8-minute film. And I really could have started sobbing through this. But you kind of sit there and think, wow, I really shouldn't be sobbing here. This video isn't affecting everybody else. But what was showing up was a new way for me to connect to this person, to provide them a space where they could release all of these intense emotions, ask for forgiveness, and shift from whatever they are, whatever their vibration is on the other side right now, to something higher. And it not only affects them and changes their vibration and whatever they choose for the future, if they choose to come back and have a body or whatever, but it affects everybody in their family and even those that they were connected to. So that was kind of new and different for me, and it didn't scare me, but it was just very, very sad, and I'd not experienced something like that on that level yet. So again, when you have these different capacities, they can change. They do change if you're willing to allow that. So if you are doing a lot of family history, military research, and you're finding yourself in a space where you don't quite know what's happening, you don't quite know what to do with all of these emotions or these triggers that you feel, know that there are lots of us out there who experience this and who are willing to talk to you. There are also a lot of healing modalities, not just access consciousness, but I've also spent a lot of time working with a theta healer. I've done some Reiki, and the different healers that I've seen also do sacred activations and open heart activations and all kinds of different things with me to help release whatever's there. And then I'm also able to take some of that and work with clients or work with other people who just through a conversation, or that, if I'm just out somewhere and feel that, oh, that person really needs something, I can kind of connect and send them what they need. So there are a lot of different ways, and the modalities I mentioned are not the end all be all. There's so many different things, and they all work differently at different times, depending on what you need. And also, I am doing facilitation now, where we talk about choice and change, and I can help you look at the things in your life or your job or your relationships, and kind of look at the energies of those and give you different possibilities and help you clear some of the places that you're stuck, and also share some of the places that, I've been energetically, spiritually, however you want to word that, and what tools I used to move to the next level. So if you're interested in any of those kinds of services, please take a look at findingtheanswersjourney.com, where I have them outlined. And I'm also posting different articles and videos there to talk about these different kinds of things that aren't necessarily so accepted in the military or the family history communities. But I really do think we need to start talking about this, because a lot of people have come up to me after I speak, or they send me messages or connect through Facebook, and they're just like, I get it. I wish I didn't feel so alone and other people were talking about this. But just know that you're not alone. And I hope that this was a contribution, and please take a look at the website for more information.